Hi everybody, this is Wendy Lovejoy and this is the RIA Meetup live training. So we are tonight focusing on the basics of real estate investing, the basics of wholesaling, and then I always encourage people to focus on getting real estate they can hold on to and get some rental income. That will definitely change some things for you if you purchase some of the properties that you come across while you're wholesaling. And just so some of you can know a little bit about myself, tonight I don't know if I'll get to take a lot of your comments or messages, and this is why I always encourage you guys to text me if you have any questions. When you come to these live trainings, I encourage you to get a loose leaf binder. If you are not in the Yellow Letter Mentoring program, get a loose leaf binder. Hey there, Duke. Get a loose leaf binder and make sure that you write on it your training so you can make sure that you are taking notes. And the notes, as you take notes, things will come up that you feel like, okay, I got that answered, but it's not going to make sense to you until you really need to implement it. And so keeping a notepad or a binder that you can put your questions and your trainings in will make a big difference for you. Okay, make sure that you do that. And secondly, things are going to come as I'm speaking, because I'm realizing some of the people in the group, you don't know some of the terminology. Hey there, Lisa. You don't know some of the terminology. So I may use phrases thinking that you guys know them and you may not. So I encourage you to write those things down that you have questions about. Also, the reason I created the format this way is because some people have questions and they don't like to ask them publicly. People are shy. People are thinking, well, everybody may know this and they don't need to ask it. So sometimes people don't ask the questions they need to ask. And so again, if you take notes, you can always text me later and I can address those questions for you privately and then put them in the group so that other people who may have had the same question but did not want to ask will get their answers as well. The other reason I do it this way is because I usually have not a lot of time online with you guys, and I don't want to take a lot of your time. I know everybody's on social media, and so some people, you're doing a lot of things at one time. I'm hoping that when you come to these trainings, you turn off your phone. If you have children, have somebody watch them for you. If you have to cook for your husband, get the dinner set out. If you have to massage your wife's feet, get all that done and really focus in on this, because if you take your real estate investing seriously, it can change everybody's life around you. And so one of the things I don't want is to take a lot of the time answering questions and not give you the content that I had planned for tonight. And so I make it easy for you to talk to me. I'm available for you to talk to me. Some people, a lot of you are either still in the Yellow Letter Mentoring program or you've taken the class and you are still asking whatever you need to know to move to your next level of your real estate investing. Wherever you are, keep notes. It'll make a big difference for you. And then the other thing I wanted to share with you is for those that don't know me and you just saw me on social media and decided to join the group, for you guys, I want you to know that I've been in the industry now about 30 years and more. It's been about 30 years because I started when my kids were in their baby stages, and now my kids are in their 30s. So I've been in the industry about that long. And one of the things that I have found is that the real estate, the wholesaling, is kind of shifting a little bit where you're more able to share it now because more people are aware about wholesaling. When I started, people thought there's no way you could buy houses or sell contracts. And here's the thing. I want you guys to understand this because some of you are real estate agents and some of you only focus on wholesaling. You're investors. The difference between a real estate investor and a real estate agent is a real estate investor did not get a license. They're not limited to a specific state. You can do real estate investing globally. And a real estate agent, not a broker. I am a licensed broker in the New York area, so I can have agents operating under me. In other states, I operate as an agent. As an investor and not as an agent. I decided to only keep my license in the New York area, but in other states, there's states that reciprocate with New York, and I could have given my license there. I chose not to because I find more freedom operating as an investor. As a real estate agent, you are limited. It's okay, but you are limited to work under the guidelines of your broker. So if your broker doesn't believe in real estate investing and they tell you they don't want that done in their office, then you have to adhere to your broker. You can't take what I'm teaching you and go against your broker. They have the covering over you, so they're responsible for you. Now, if your broker is somebody that agrees with you investing and they really don't understand it, then this is the platform to learn. The other two differences is a licensed agent has the legal right, once a contract is signed with the seller, to sell the house. They are selling the house. They market the house. They are pushing everything about the house. It's all about the property, how it's seen, what times it can be shown, how much commission they're getting. A real estate investor is marketing and selling a contract. That's the difference. Even though it's a house that's going to be exchanged, as an investor, you cannot sell the house. You're not licensed to sell the house. You have the authority once an agreement is signed, and there's certain verbiage that has to be in there, stuff like and or assigns. You have to have certain verbiage in your contract that is going to allow the seller to let you take what you've agreed to them. So as an investor, you're selling a piece of paper, and this piece of paper has to say, if I'm in contract with, say, Duke, and Duke is selling the house and I'm going to wholesale it, I do a contract with Duke. Wendy Lovejoy is buying from Duke Eli 123 Main Street, but I have the right to assign my contract to Duke. To say Lisa. Lisa can come along and say, I want to buy that house. I'm not selling her the house that Duke is selling to me. I'm selling her the contract. So when you say, I want to make $5,000 a deal, $10,000 a deal, $1,000 a deal, 200, whatever number, you're making it on this. So here's the thing. The more money you want for this piece of paper, the more this piece of paper has to be worth. And so when you are looking at the house as an investor, you are not looking to say, the house has to be perfect. Because if it is perfect, you will not get it at a discount price. So your goal is to see what is wrong with this house when you're looking at it. What are the things wrong with it? Does the roof need repairs? Does the door need to be repaired? Do the windows need to be repaired? Does it need a new kitchen? Does it need a new bathroom? How is the backyard? What is the neighborhood like? Because the contract is very, very important. And the more discount you can get for your contract, the better chances you are to find somebody to buy, to give you cash for this piece of paper, because this piece of paper says that the house is going to be a great deal. So when you are looking at houses, don't focus on trying to just get the contract. The contract has to make sense. And so one of the things you want to look at, let's say you want $5,000 for your contract, and the house, you looked at it, the house can sell for $100,000, but in the condition it's in, you have to try to get it for, say, $50,000, $60,000. And you got to be very specific. And so you have to go and do your research before you even go to the homeowners. house or the property that you're trying to put in contract, you have to do your research. So if Duke was selling me 123 Main Street, and he responded to one of my marketing pieces, or he saw me on social media, any of the ways that I promote that I'm a real estate investor, and he decided to work with me, then when that happens, I'm going to be looking at 123 Main Street online. I'm going to look and see, what is the house worth now? What is the house worth now? What are houses in the area that look just like Duke's house selling for? What is the same square footage? How many bedrooms? How many bathrooms? What is the, how updated? What is still missing to be done? What is the condition of the roof? You have to be very specific. And here's one of the things that I encourage investors to do is, when you go to the house, make sure you take pictures. If you can, take a video, because you have to market this piece of paper, and this piece of paper is worth nothing to anybody unless they can see the condition of the house. So now, if you put together a contract that says, if I'm getting the house from Duke and he tells me you can never show this house again, I just want to go to a closing, and I'm not budging on my money, I don't care about your due diligence. The tougher it is to get your investors to go see the property, the more important to have the pictures or the video. Now you can market it to a broader base of people, as opposed to you constantly going to show the house. You can collect cash buyers list. Make sure you start collecting everybody you know that buys houses for cash. I am shocked when I find people that are in the RIA meetup and they don't put me on their cash buyers list, because I know a lot of cash buyers. And you may have a property and you're trying to sell it on your own, but you don't have enough cash buyers. So now you've limited it. And then if you're not promoting it, you've even limited it even more. Your goal when you get these properties for the right price, so Duke sells me the house for $60,000. I want to make what I call a quick $5,000 because I want to close within the next couple of weeks. So I've got to make sure that this property, the repairs are going to be, they can't be $40,000, because now there's no room for me to get paid, and there's no room for the person I'm going to sell it to. This piece of paper, I cannot go to Lisa and say, now I want you to buy this piece of paper and I want it for $5,000. I want you to pay me $5,000. And then Lisa looks at the house and says, but there's no room for me to make money, because this house, you want to sell it to me for $65,000, but I'm seeing that I'm going to need to do $40,000 worth of repairs, and the houses in that area only sell for $100,000. That's very, very important. Some people turn around and they go into contract with the deal, and then they've got a contract that's worthless. And so I really want you to get that mindset. You are selling the contract. And so whatever terms you work out have got to be appealing to the cash investors you get. The thing about a piece of real estate, though, is that there's buyers for everything. Sometimes I've had deals where the seller did not want to budge on price, so I sold it to the investors that like to take over the deal, pay me my money, but then they work out paying the seller in stages. So there's always something. But when you're looking for quick cash, when you're looking to close as many deals as possible and not have a bunch of headaches, the most important thing is your numbers and the terms that you get in that contract. How often can you get in there? I usually ask the sellers I'm working with to give me a copy of the keys. I want the keys in my hand. And if I'm not meeting them, the people on my team know when you go meet the seller to get that piece of paper signed for me, I want a copy of the keys as well. Because now I don't have to chase the seller down. I don't have to listen to why they can't show it today. Maybe they live in another state. Maybe they have a home up the street. But I want to have full control. The more in control you are as a wholesaler, the better it is to get the deal done. That is so important, especially when you're brand spanking new as a wholesaler. Don't be so excited to get a contract that the contract makes no sense. Because if you have a strong why, and I know there's women here online like myself who got into real estate investing because you have babies, you have children you want to feed. You don't want to waste your time with a contract that can do nothing. And now you've been promoting it, you've been counting the $5,000, you've got bills to pay, and then the deal doesn't close, and now you're going to think, oh, real estate doesn't work. No, it doesn't work if it doesn't make sense. It doesn't work if it doesn't make sense. So now you're going to build yourself a habit of taking deals that don't close. When people text me and say, Wendy, hey, I'm in the group or I'm in the Yellow Letter Mentoring program, this is where I am, can you help me out? I tell them the truth. This is what you need to say to the seller. This is what you need to think when you're walking out of there, because you don't want to take a contract that makes no sense and poison your mind about real estate investing. And now you start thinking, well, I wasted my time. And no, you did if you try to do it wrong. So I want you to build good habits going in, because the habits are what's going to change stuff for you. And here's why people will take any contract that comes along. Number one, they really don't know how to find motivated buyers and motivated sellers. They don't know how to define motivated sellers. And a motivated seller is somebody that's motivated to sell. They do not want to keep this house. The house is stressing them out. And it could be something as simple as, for lack of a better terminology, a family member passed away and this house is a headache. Sometimes it's a family member passed away and I'm too emotional when I come here. I don't even want to come back and see this house. I just want to get rid of it. I'm being relocated. The house is too big for us. We can't take it anymore. I've got knee surgery and I can't walk up the steps anymore. I need something that's on one level. I need to move to another state. If I don't sell this house, it's going to be foreclosed on. My husband doesn't know we're in foreclosure. I pay all the bills and I need to get this done before other people find out. I have the house rented out and the tenants are stressing me out. I have one situation right now in the Queens area where the young lady, her father lives in the basement and he rented out the upstairs. He thought he was renting to a family of 3 and now he's got over 18 people. No exaggeration, living in a 3-bedroom. So he wants to get rid of it. And so these are situations that people say, I gotta sell. I'm a tired landlord. I'm sick of being a landlord. I'm a tired investor. I've had sometimes you speak to an investor and they own like 20 houses in the same area and they need to get rid of all of them. That is a slam dunk, because if you work well with them, they'll give you the opportunity to sell all their properties. So the first thing you want to do is define what is a motivated seller. What is a motivated seller? And then you want to learn how to keep finding them. You want to keep finding motivated sellers where they're calling you all the time. And when we teach the Yellow Letter Mentoring program, everything is very specific, but you want to learn how to find motivated seller, get your phone ringing all the time. And the same time you're finding motivated sellers, you're building your cash buyer list. And there's a lot of people that can buy homes or properties and they can pay cash. Cash doesn't always mean that they have $150,000 just sitting there to buy that $100,000 home from you. Sometimes they have just the 20% so that a hard money lender can give them the rest of the money. Sometimes they can write the check. Sometimes they have credit lines, and there's, they have partners that work with them, but you want to always make sure you have proof of funds. Do not lock up your contract. Do not sign this piece of paper with them and they have not proven to you that they can pay for the house. Now you've taken the property off the market. You let other wholesalers call you when you told them that, the property's gone, only to find out that this person cannot buy it themselves. And sometimes what happens is, because we're wholesalers, if I'm wholesaling Duke's house to, say, Lisa can turn around and wholesale this house to Eric, who can turn around and wholesale it to Gerald. So now there's more than one person that's adding 5,000 or 2,000 or 10,000. And if there's a lot of people connected to that one deal, now you've got all this stuff to figure out. So I like to make sure I don't have too many hands in one deal. And I like to make sure that they show me proof of funds so that my deal's closed. I read the deal. Most of my transaction, I'm direct to the seller, which means that I'm the one truly connected to the seller. And I have built a relationship with the seller, so now I can speak on their behalf. Because the other thing that happens when you're wholesaling, especially in some states, people, as soon as you start wholesaling, some people will even try to tell the seller that, the seller should work with you. So for me, I don't give out my addresses until you sign a non-circumvent with me. And that means you can't go behind my back and try to get the seller to work with you without me. You always want to think how to protect yourself. So first, you got to find more deals more often. You got to keep the pipeline coming in with property. And you got to constantly, if as an investor, the places you make the most money is really making sure the deal is put together properly and that the numbers make sense. So try to train yourself to stay there and give everybody else the work that is not as lucrative. You don't want to spend all your time, let's say, shifting paper, moving paper around, or just doing administrative work. In the beginning, until you've closed, I would say 5 to 10 deals, you really want to do everything yourself so you can learn the parts you don't like or the parts you are not good at and give those away. Give them away and learn to work with people that get paid when you get paid and not people that say, oh, no, I want my money up front. I had a very good friend call me and say, this person wants to work with me, but they want their money up front. And I was like, well, it could be worth it. But then again, as strong as you are, you don't need that person. When you can do a lot of this yourself, you won't need that much of a team to find deals because you do it yourself. However, you also want to connect with other investors. If you're a new investor, one of the best friends you can make is other investors and also people that are bird dogs. And bird dogs are people that find the leads for the deals, but they don't want to do the whole deal. They just want to find the leads and they want to get paid. I have a few bird dogs. I have a few bird dogs in the New York area, in the Georgia area, in DC, in Maryland, in Florida, in Texas, the places that I like to do deals with. I have bird dogs in those areas, but I've gotten more bird dogs in New York and Atlanta. So build your bird dogs. These are people, as I said, that they just love to find the properties and they're willing to get paid $1,000. Some make $500. So now you want to build that into your whatever you said you want because you're responsible for paying them. And so you want to build it into what you're doing. However, now you have more people helping you find deals. But it's so much easier to make friends with even a real estate agent and say to them, this is the kind of properties I look for. Do you have anything off market in your office? Anything that's a pocket listing? And when you say off market or a pocket listing, that simply means they've not put it on multiple listing service. They've not put it on Zillow. They've not made it public. And so most agents that are very productive have pocket listings. And so when you're learning to become a real estate investor, don't build your business finding the people that have never been in real estate, but they just got their license. They don't know nobody and they're learning like you are. It's okay to help them grow with you, but you still want to find the top producers in the zip code you want to work in and just call them. Hi, my name is Wendy and I'm a real estate investor. Are you a real estate investor-friendly agent? Do you work with real estate investors? And some will say, no, I'm not interested in that. I do enough business on my own. And some people will say, of course I do, because they know real estate investors, when you close on the house and they get paid faster. They don't have to wait 45 days for their commission check. They can get it in under 30 days most of the time. And also, they know once you fix up the house or whoever you wholesale it to, and they fix up the house, the listing can come back to them. And so now they've made commission more than one time. They made commission when they sold you the property, and they've made a commission when they found the buyer that's buying it from you. Okay, so you have to make sure the numbers make sense. And I've had real estate agents know that I'm going to wholesale the deal, and because they're real estate investor friendly, they've worked along with me. And some people say, no, I just want you to pay cash for it and close, and that's it. So now you work out something with your cash investors. Real estate investing is about building relationships and building your business so it works the way you want it to work for you. There's no set way of doing anything as a real estate investor. That's what I love about it. You build your business to suit you. I could be in Georgia and do deals in Atlanta. I mean, in New York. I could be in Haiti and do deals in, anywhere United States. So it's very, very important that you focus on building your business so it supports the lifestyle you want. And the number one thing to do is automate how you find motivated sellers, and also get an action plan to build your buyers list. You either want to text them, you want to email them, you want to call them, but you need to build your buyers list. You don't want to just have 2 buyers. And I'm a strong believer that until you have a deal, you really need to focus on that part first. Find a deal. Find a good deal. Keep working until you find a deal. Because finding the cash buyers is okay, but now you have nothing to sell them. If you do what I suggested in the beginning of this training with how you do the numbers of your deal, the cash buyers will flock to you. Every single day people are saying to me, can I join your buyers list? They will come to you once they know you find deals. And so if they know that all your deals are, overpriced and there's no room for them, now you're going to limit the cash buyers that will work with you. So it's very, very important. Keep getting deals. Get deals. Get the contracts. Get more than one contract. Don't get one contract and now you're babysitting that contract for 6 months because it's the only one you have. You really want to make sure you have more than one deal, especially if you want to close some deals before the end of the year. Christmas is coming up. Thanksgiving is coming up. You can get deals closed between now and, November if you focus on marketing to get deals. You could even market yourself on your Facebook pages by putting out that you are an investor. And you can say little things like, let's say your zip code is 11225. I am looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath that needs a little bit of work in the zip code of 11225. If you know anybody that has something like that and you put us in touch, I'll make sure I send you, something for it. and now you've created bird dogs that will keep looking for you. Or you can also look on Craigslist, you can look online. You'd be surprised, sometimes you can find a deal on Zillow, you can find top reducers, but you really want to invest in a good mailing list or a program that gives you a mailing list. And then you want to write your yellow letter, you want to send your postcards, you want to drive by these addresses. The more proactive you are, the better. And so you don't want to pick addresses that you're never going to farm. If you decide, like if I'm in New York and I want to sell in Atlanta, I know how to promote myself for deals in there because I've built that. So it's so much easier to start in a place where you are more hands-on, where you can take a look at the property, because you definitely want to close your deal. You want to make sure your deal closes.